You guys go ahead and get started. You guys got any questions?
Office usually have an opener.
I'm freestyling today. I'm gonna let you guys go. Short week.
How does the short week change your preparations throughout with the special teams unit?
It kind of condenses it. It's more work on the back end for me, starting on the beginning of the week, even the week going into last week before we played New Orleans, just taking a sneak peek at Tampa, a couple of clips of what they do well, what they don't do, like what they can improve on, what we can improve on, what I foresee happening going into the game that they're going to try to attack and take advantage of, and then flipping my mind back to New Orleans and then hitting the ground running come Monday. Watching Tampa, going through everything, what they do. They do a phenomenal job there. Coach T-Mac, he just got there from the Giants. He has a lot of good core players where you talk about Cole Keith, talk about Russell, Josh Hayes on the perimeter, Thomas, one of their top gunners, number 37. So going into the week, it's just spending a lot of time, myself and Coach King, just making sure we're dialed in, ready to go. Mondays are long because we hit the ground running Tuesday with the players, and you can't take any shortcuts. Like, my job as a coach and as a coordinator is dot every I, cross every T to make sure that we're ready to go and our players are the most prepared team when it comes to the special teams unit come Thursday night.
There's been a lot of field goals that are 40 yards plus. In your opinion, how has that changed the game in terms of 2-minute drives, 1-minute drives, and those just short, small amount of time left in the game with a field goal?
I think, as an offense and a defense, it changes a lot because it changes the game plan. How many yards do you need to take advantage of as an offense to get to field goal range? These kickers now, this day and age, going into this year and the years prior, that line is getting further and further back. So as an offensive coach, you need to be more aggressive to get to those yard lines. As a defensive coach, do I need to be more aggressive with my calls? Because before, most teams back in the early 2000s, bend but don't break, keep everything in front, and then force a long field goal, which was a lower percentage field goal. Now, with a lot of kickers making 40 and plus and 50-plus yard field goals, our defensive coordinators need to be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to holding that line to make sure that field goal line is a little bit further back. And the further that field goal line is back, the trajectory of the football changes. Further field goal, that ball's a little bit lower, so now it gives the D-line a chance to get their hands on the ball to affect the kick. So there's a bunch of different variables, and it's my job as a coach, working with Coach Morris, working with Coach Robinson and Coach Lake to have those guys understand what's our line, where do we need to get to, and then on the other end of it, when we're playing against a particular kicker, letting Jimmy know what's their line and where is that guy most consistent at when it comes to his furthest field goal.
And switching to Tampa, Camardo did not play on Sunday. They elevated Trenton Gill. What does Trenton Gill bring to the table, and how do you prepare for two different kinds of punters?
It goes back to Terrence talking about just the preparation, a short week and getting ready for two different punters. Had the opportunity to work out both punters. They came out the same draft class. That was the same year that we signed Bradley Pinion. Camarda has a strong leg. He's able to flip the field when it comes to punts. And then same thing with Trenton Gill coming out of NC State. I had the opportunity to go work him out for a private workout at NC State and got a chance to spend time with him. He played a couple years for the Bears. We played against him twice in the last two and a half years. He has a strong leg, and he has the ability to kick off as well. So not only can he flip the field as a punter directionally, he has a toolbox of kicks when it comes to kickoffs. And, jumping in right away last week, he had go in there and hold for McLaughlin too. So I know that he had a big plate last week, and hopefully, it kind of slowed down for him going into this week. But I'm excited to go against Trenton Gill or Kamada, whoever they put out there. I know for us whether it's a return unit going against those guys, we got to just make sure that we're locked in, understand the plan, what we need to do, understand where both guys like to kick the ball, and being able to take advantage of any opportunities that present itself.
Is it rare to have a trio like Youngway, Liam, and Bradley together for so long? I mean, 3 years, so it's not that long.
Yeah. It's rare to have the continuity because for each position, there's only 32 spots for each position. So to have that continuity and having guys under contract and then also, too, not only having those guys under contract, but they work well together. There's 3 different guys, 3 different personalities, but they all understand each other. They all understand how they operate, how important their job is for one another, and how they directly correlate to the other person's success. So it's been a blessing having all 3 of those guys going into year 3 together, and I still think that their best ball is yet to come.
I would say, where are you for Koo to get a new career long? I know he had hit 54. 6, 7 times, but couldn't crack that 54 mark before.
Yeah, it's just not a lot of ops when it comes to that. He works on it day in and day out. Every time we're on the field, he's consistently hit balls from 50-plus yards. And when we went out there with 7 seconds left, it was not a surprise. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go out there. Anytime our field goal team's out there, our objective is to put points on the board every single time. So that's the expectation. That's the mindset that we have in that room, whether it's from 60 yards or if it's from 18 yards. That's the mindset, and that's the expectation for all 11 guys, including Koo.
And speaking of points on the board, what kind of asset is Kadarius Hodge to the special teams?
And when you have an offensive player, Taryn, that has the ability to cover kicks and tackle, because he's usually blocking or catching footballs, but the ability to tackle. I believe in 22, he led our special teams in tackles. And years prior, when he's with the Browns, he's one of the top tacklers in the NFL. So to have a guy that has the ability, has speed, athletic ability, strength, awareness, football savvy, leads by example, works hard. I mean, that play that he made, him and Micah and BP, those guys made, it starts with the protection. And then those guys going downfield, that exemplifies what we talk about in the room of effort, attitude, technique. Yes, our offense, we had to force a punt. We punted, and it's 4th down. You could turn that into momentum. We create momentum. We're the first play on defense. And, Red did a phenomenal job working downfield, because at first he kind of got held at the line of scrimmage, and then he ended up straining downfield. And in our room, we believe great plays are made from great effort. So that's a clip that we could show now and the next year and the years after. That's going to be a clip that's going to be in the archive, just to show guys great plays are made from great effort.
After the game, Liam said that he can tell how much Hodge loves to play on special teams. How do you see that on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, it's his mindset and how he carries himself. He wears his emotion on his sleeve. He cares, and you can see how much somebody cares about the way their actions and how they go about their business. And you can see the excitement for everybody when Hodge made that play. That's one of the cool things when you watch film, you go back and watch stuff, seeing the excitement from everybody, because they know how much he's invested in special teams. And I look at it like we have offensive guys and defensive guys that play on special teams. It's an opportunity just to play football. You get an opportunity to block, tackle, catch, get off blocks. You just be a football player on special teams. It doesn't matter if you play on offense or defense. And Red understands that. And he understands he's not counting his reps. He's making his reps count. And that's critical for us as a team and on special teams.
It goes without saying, Koo is such a big part of this team's success. How much are you continually impressed with how well he's been able to deliver and at a consistent rate?
I'm always impressed, but I'm never surprised because of his mindset, his daily approach, and his process that he goes through day in and day out. He never rides the waves. He's never too high, never too low. There was a game last year where he went 5 for 5 versus the Colts, and he was not happy with all of his kicks. Most guys, like, I made 5 field goals. Yes, let's go. He didn't like it. He didn't like his contact on the football, so he's always looking to improve, and he's always looking to get better. And it's awesome to work with a guy like that. I had the opportunity to work with him when he was a rookie in 2017, and now fast forward, we're together again for our 4th season here in Atlanta. But he never surprises me, but yet I'm still impressed by his daily approach, his process, and him just being a good person and a good teammate. Again, it goes back to you see how much people care about, you can see how much they care and are invested in the person. When he makes field goals, our guys they have out-of-body experiences. They're running on the field and stuff, and that's good. You want that. Passion is everything. Yes, our players get paid a lot of money, and they play this game at the highest level, but passion and playing for one another and having a sense of pride, that's priceless. Those are things that you can't buy, you can't replicate or duplicate, and it's awesome to see that with our players and with Koo.
I was just thinking about that after he hit that game winner. You see Jesse Bates running over guys from every single side of the ball, running over to the kicker and lifting him up. How cool is that for you to see that reaction?
Yeah, I really didn't see it enough because I was trying to get the kickoff team ready because there's 2 seconds left and there was no TV timeout. So it goes back like being in that situation. We make the kick. Oh, awesome, we made the kick. All right, 2 seconds left. We got to go cover. Hey, make sure we get everybody off the field so we don't get a penalty. And just, okay, now we got to go cover a kick. We're going to put the ball in play. What kind of plays they can run? But now looking back at, like, by the time I got home, got on the freeway, got home, and then going back and realizing I'm like, that's a great opportunity for our players, great opportunity for our team. And just to see the playback of stuff is really awesome to see our players because they work so hard for everything and they take care of the little things, and those add to big results.
Bijan, from the outside looking in, it would seem that a short week would be an advantage for Tampa Bay. But Are there some benefits of the Falcons having a shorter week?
I mean, yeah. Obviously, we just played a game, so we have like 2 games in a week. But I think just for us, like, I think it'll be good just to get out there right away. I mean, obviously our bodies are a little banged up from Sunday, but this is my first short week, so I don't really know how others go about their short week business. But I feel pretty good, and obviously when we play tomorrow, like, we get on the field and we just got to just turn our mindset and try to get a win.
Hey, what has the running game looked like on film? Coach talked about things being close, and then you had 2 new linemen in the last week. How'd that look on film, and how do you try to go on here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want the run game to be the focal point, because it opens up everything else. And obviously, like, last week Ty stepped up and he came in big with the big runs and everything, and that's how we want it to look. And obviously, like, we want the open gaps and just a little crease. But I think with us, we're still trying to get it going, because we know our run game can be super explosive. But we want to show that definitely this week against Tampa.
And now, what were the emotions when you have a touchdown and then they call that thing back then?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, we wanted that touchdown because it could have been a game changer for the whole offense, and then obviously for the whole team. But obviously, like, it's football, and we know that those little things happen sometimes, and you gotta get back and try to get back on track from those situations. But obviously you hate to get those touchdowns called back, because all it does is just help your team and puts points on the board. But then we know situations happen, and you can't really control that.
Speaking of your explosive run, have you looked at some film from Tampa Bay and saw some areas in the secondary where you're like, yeah, I can exploit that right there?
Yeah. No doubt. Obviously, they've played some teams where some running backs got big runs on them. Even last week with Saquon, he hit a big run on them. But we have to just follow our tracks and follow our assignments, and then hopefully those open up and we can exploit those in their back end and get those big runs as well for us.
Is there a frustration on offense that you're struggling to maybe get it in the end zone, or is it just let's stay the course, we know what we're doing will work?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, we're trying to get the ball in the end zone every drive we can, especially in the red zone. Like, we don't want the 3 and outs, anymore. And obviously, we love Koo, but trying to, like, not get him on the field as much as we can definitely helps all of us out. And we even in the running back room, like, we have a saying, like, we want to put 7s on the board and not 3s on the board as much as we can. And I know that we're trying to get it going right now as an offense, but I know that it clicks, has clicked at some point, and we want it to click as soon as possible. And we're trying to make it click week to week, but we're trying to do as much as we can to put the ball in the end zone every single week consistently.
Okay, you mentioned Koo. Marquice was just in here, and he said that his teammates pretty much have an out-of-body experience whenever he's hitting game winners like that. What's the reaction from everyone when something like that happens?
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing just experience to see him kick those field goals. And since I've been here, he's already had like 2-3 game winners. But like I said, like, we love that, and if that's what the situation is, like, we all pray that Koo makes it. And I mean, I love it, but I know that we can help him out on offense, and like I said, just putting the ball in the end zone consistently, so, like, we don't got to put ourselves in that situation, and getting those close games. Like, we just want to be the best that we can on the field, especially on third downs, like converting and doing stuff like that, so we can end the game, like, comfortably and not always have to rely on Koo to make those game winners.
Ryan and Storm, obviously, on this past Sunday, they started. How do you feel like they did up front to help you guys out? I think they did great. I felt that we had, clean pockets for Kirk, and they were aggressive in the run game, and they didn't back down, back an eye at all.
And the thing I like about Storm and News, like they communicate with the running backs, so like they always ask like if they can do anything better, or if we can do anything better. And that's just that level of like attention to detail that I like with everybody up front, but with those guys coming in and stepping up like that.
How soon does that communication start from guys like them? Obviously it's a quick turnaround for them. So are they coming to you guys right away, right before the game? When does that communication start?
It's really like throughout the game, and it's after the first drive if they see something, or if I see something, then I'll go to them or they'll come to me. But then it's throughout the game communication. Like we never stop really communicating on the sidelines, or I'm just going over to them seeing if I can do something better, even in my run tracks to help them out. And then they'll ask me the same thing and vice versa. But yeah, it's always going between us.
I know third downs are really predicated on what's happening on first and second downs, obviously. But you guys did take a step forward on third down in this past game on Sunday. What did you see when you watched the film back where you thought, okay, we are taking more steps in the right direction on third down?
Yeah, I mean, we took some great third downs, but I think that if we can convert it 2 more that we needed, obviously like we want to stay in bounds on third down and stay getting that momentum forward. But if we complete those 2 more third downs, like I think we're over like 50%. I know that's like really, really good for third down. So, us just like, buckling down, but playing really good on first and second down, and, making it third and 3s and third and 2s and third and 1s instead of like third and 10s plus. That's what's going to help us out. That's what's going to help us convert every single one that we get into.
I believe this is your first Thursday night football game in your NFL career?
My first one.
What's the experience been like for you preparing in this way where it's kind of weird you're not getting any actual like full practice reps and things like that?
Yeah, it's been super fast. We're already, like the game's tomorrow, so we're already about to do this practice, go to the hotel, and then you're ready to go next day. And I know that's a fast turnaround, but I was just trying to see how my body was going to feel up to this point. And I mean, they do a really good job, like, over there in the training staff, like making sure you're doing the right things, making sure you're getting massages, like everything up to the point. And obviously it's a little longer days, but I mean, that's what helps out for these Thursday night games. And I'm trying to feel as best as I can for tomorrow.
I'm not trying to outload this question, but like how much does it help to have a veteran quarterback like Kirk kind of helping guide the offense through this kind of condensed period?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, helps a lot. I mean, he was even telling me yesterday, like he played 2 Thursday night games back to back 1 year, and I was like, well, I mean, here we go. But yeah, just even him like telling us that obviously gives us confidence. And I mean, yeah, he's played a lot of Thursday night games in his career, so I know he's ready to go. I know he has his routine, and we're all trying to find our routine. The guys who haven't played a Thursday night game, so having him back there, it definitely does help a lot.
Lily, after the game on Sunday, was talking about how this stretch is really mandatory for you guys to get wins.
Yeah.
I know you don't look ahead, and it's not like you're saying, okay, Saints and then Bucs and then Panthers, but how much is that an emphasis that this division stretch is really important for you guys to be successful in?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's extremely important, just because these are 3 back-to-back division games, and these are obviously must-wins for us. And like you said, like we gotta just focus on the Bucs, and then we'll focus on Carolina next week. But us getting these wins is very crucial in our schedule, and it's happening early, obviously. So we got to do everything in our power to lock in and get a win week to week with these guys, and obviously want to win every game. But right now, obviously the Bucs are the ones that we got to focus on, and we got to just hone in on, because we don't want to mess this stretch up for our schedule, for our fans, for all of us, for our teammates. Like we just don't want to mess it up. So we got to do what we got to do to be locked in for this win.
You had the same reaction to the swag surf as Kirk. He was really into it.
I don't understand how, like, I don't know if that was his first time ever hearing that song or what was it, because like obviously I've heard that song so much in my life, but when he said that, I was like, dang, like I don't know if it's because he's like dang near 60 years old, like he, you know, but no, no, I'm sorry, no. But no, yeah, it was funny when he said that, because I was like, that's a cool reaction for the first time hearing that one.
I hate to go from this lighthearted question to,
Yeah.
You've talked in the past about momentum being super important on offense. How difficult has it been to build that momentum with the penalties recently?
Yeah, I mean, like, penalties hurt every offense, because you're going on track and you're getting positive momentum, but then having those penalties obviously take you back, and then that's what gets you in the third and longs, or, you know, just unmanageable situations that you don't want to be in. And, you know, we're doing as much as we can to limit those penalties, and obviously you can't control everyone, because it's, you know, you're just trying to make a good play, and then it happens. But, you know, if you minimize those, and, you know, I think we had like 70 yards of penalties last week, and just cut that even to half or less than that, then, you know, we're doing something, you know, really good on offense.
How are you feeling health-wise? They had you on the report with the shoulder last week and the hamstring.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's just like these little like nicks and bruises that I got. But no, I'm ready to go for tomorrow.
We're right on the fringe. You know, I think that we're gonna put it together, and it's gonna come very, very close this week, and we're gonna keep on trying to just gel as an offense in general, you know. So our goal is to put it together this week and try to showcase what this offense can be.
I know a lot of that comes with reps, albeit with Kirk, with the offense in general, but what else can you guys do to keep trending towards the right direction and put it together?
I mean, everything else off the field as well, you know, film room study, just getting with Kirk and understanding the philosophy of the play, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it that we can do besides the field, and we're doing everything in our power to try to do that.
When it comes to understanding the philosophy of the play, how critical is Kirk in all of that? Obviously, he's got a ton of experience in this league.
Yeah, I mean, that just dwindles down to that, just experience. He feels if safety falls off, if a cornerback is playing this, that he feels that he can fit a ball in there and make that play. So a lot of things is spacing and making sure that our route depth is right, just so we could be on timing for him to make that perfect throw and us to just catch the ball and do what we do.
I was asking Bijan a similar question. I know third down is obviously predicated on first and second, but obviously trending in the right direction on third down, some nice things this past Sunday. What did you see when you watched the film back thinking, okay, we can get this thing going?
Yeah, I mean, for our standards, it's still not up to where we want to be. You know, we want to be the best in the league at that. So third downs is going to be a big thing this week, and it's going to keep on being a big thing. So right now we just have to execute, and we know we have the players to do it, and we just had to execute right.
A big emphasis this week has been, you know, just cleaning up penalties and things like that. How specifically have you guys been working on that, especially during such a short period?
Pretty much just playing sound football at the end of the day. You know, sometimes there's judgment calls out there, but at the end of the day, all we could do is just play through it and try to play as clean as possible.
And in your opinion, we've seen a lot of talk, you know, this offense continues to improve, but a lot of people feel like you guys haven't lived up to your full potential yet. What do you think is really holding you guys back from reaching and, you know, pushing through to reach you guys' full potential?
I mean, you know, we have a new dude throwing the pill back there, so there's a bunch of stuff that's different. We have new head coaches, we got new OC, so there's a lot of things that we have to get in order and to gel, you know. So it's going to take some time, but I think we're on the verge of that, and we're ready to finally have the breakout games that we know we can have.
Is there anything you learned in your first Thursday night game from your rookie year about, like, terms of recovery and how you approach this week?
Kinda, not really. It wasn't as quick as this week, I would say. So I'm definitely learning now about taking care of my body and playing a game in less than 8 days from Sunday. So it's pretty tough, but at the same time, I mean, it's football, so we're about to have fun.
What have you learned?
Just take care of your body, and you'll be fine.
How critical is this three-game stretch with division opponents getting a quick start off in the division?
Oh, it's major. It's huge. You know, if you win the division, then you pretty much set yourself up for post football. So at the end of the day, these are really, really big games, and we got to go out there and execute and win. At the end of the day, we just got to outrun the South.
Okay, first and foremost, you got an opportunity to play on Sunday. Just how good was it to get in there finally, and what do you feel like you learned from Sunday?
Yeah, I think for me, any opportunity, I'm going to continue to be ready, and I think that's been my job up to this point as a backup, is to be ready for that opportunity. And if the opportunity appears Thursday, then I'll be sure that I'm ready. And I think last game, it's just continuing. Each time you play, you gain a little bit more confidence and a little bit more know that you can do it. And so that's what I gained from last time.
Getting your feet wet on Sunday. Now it's a primetime game tomorrow with a short week. How good was it just to get in there on Sunday in case Thursday you're there for a primetime game on a short week?
Yeah, I think it's back to that confidence piece. You gain a little bit of confidence each time. And so I think that's what I just did. And it's kind of nice to be able to get, my feet wet, exactly.
When you guys are preparing for a quarterback like Baker Mayfield, who can get the ball out really quickly, he can also move around at times, how do you prepare for someone like that?
Yeah, he can do it all, and I think I've talked to a lot of different people about how Thursday games go, and a lot of Thursday games, it's a lot of focusing on yourself, focusing on, hey, what kind of basics can we do well as a defense? What kind of things do they do? What top runs, top passes, pass concepts can we stop? And because there's obviously that less of a time to prepare.
We talk about being ready. What is it like? What does that mean? What is the biggest kind of part of this week that gets you to that point where you're feeling like you're confident, ready?
Yeah, I think for me, it's once the game install has been in, going through previous games and matching our calls to different plays that they've done. And so that's kind of the biggest thing for me. Once I feel comfortable, hey, I can put any call to almost any play that they have shown on film, and I feel confident about that. That's the biggest thing for me about feeling ready.
How's it been for you getting these first few reps on defense? You're the first rookie to really get any meaningful snaps. How has that been? Any kind of noticeable differences from previous experiences playing football?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting, and I think probably leave it at that. I think it's just an exciting time, and I'm excited for whatever opportunity I do get going forward.
As a backup, you always have to prepare like a starter, and I know you do. I think I mentioned it to you on Sunday. I see you in here always looking at a tablet, always being ready. What's the best piece of advice someone's given to you as a backup to prepare like you're a starter?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it transitions. I think the past games, a lot of my preparation was a little bit more focused on special teams, and so it was kind of almost half and half special teams defense and being able to be prepared on both sides. But now it's going to be a little bit leaning a little bit more on defense, and so I think it's just the time, dividing my time into which area I focus it on.
Is there anything that Caden, Troy, Nate has said to you that stuck out in the last week?
I don't know if there's a single thing. I think one nice thing is to have the relationship with these guys off the field kind of really helps me on the field, and especially when if I do get an opportunity to play, just being able to have that communication piece with Caden off the field will allow us to communicate well on the field.